Hi everyone, Melissa here, and I'm thrilled to be back with you today. So I had originally filmed a little intro for my video, and when I came to upload my videos, it was missing. So in that little video, I'd explained what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and what my plans were. So while you just watch me glue these photos of Sam, these are back to school photos for this year, taken in February, while I'm gluing them onto papers from the A5 paper stack, I'll explain what I'm doing. So this paper I think is called Orbit, and this is the No Limits collection, which is new, and this is my favourite paper in the entire collection. When Zoe released this collection and gave us a preview, I absolutely loved how all the patterns looked on this cut apart sheet. I loved how they looked together, and I just couldn't bear to cut them apart. So what I've done is I've decided to create a pocket page without the pockets, and so in order to separate the rectangles like a pocket page would, I've machine stitched in black thread, just unevenly on purpose and slightly, I guess kind of roughly. I've stitched those lines down just to give a little bit of separation, and then I've selected 3 photos of Sam, and they, like I said, they're back to school photos. And so basically we moved towns last year, in the middle of last year in June, and so I never really got, I don't know why, I suppose it was just really disruptive to our family. And I think the state of mind he had was, it's hard, right, when you're 14 and you move to a new town halfway through the year. So I don't really take any photos, but it's been really great this year to get the back to school photos and start the year fresh, knowing that we're here. We're not going to move in the middle of the year. And we didn't know at the beginning of last year that we'd be moving either. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So what I've done is, obviously I've asked his permission. I think that's really important when your kids get older. They don't necessarily want to be on social media, YouTube, Instagram, etc., Facebook. So I've asked his permission if I can scrap these, and he loved the paper as well, and he was really keen. So that's a win in my book. If he'd said no, I would still scrap it, but I wouldn't share it anywhere. So what I've done is just selected a few things that I love. I love that To the Moon and Back, and I think that looks really, really cute on that space kind of paper. And I'm just going through and embellishing each little rectangle. I didn't have any major plans. I don't fully plan out my layouts when I make them, especially when I'm doing a process video. I have a little bit of an idea, but I don't plan it out fully. I know some people do, and I don't know, I guess I'm someone that just gets inspired as I go along. So I did know what photos, I knew what size to print them, and I knew which rectangles I was going to put them in. I love having that title on the left there. So yeah, you can see that it would look like a pocket page, except because I'm not bound by the pockets, I can go over the edge of the rectangles, which I think is really fun. So with that larger photo of him, I've put that over the boundary. Yeah, I guess it is a boundary. I've straddled it across the 2 different rectangles. So what I'm using is bits and pieces from the whole collection. I've got accessory stickers, die-cut ephemera, chipboard, which I absolutely love. I'm popping several things up on these little foam squares. These are American craft ones, and if you find they're too big, if you just cut down the centre, which I've done for this title, then that way you're not limited by having to just have a square. So I know people don't always think about cutting their pop dots or their dimensional adhesive down, but I always do. And then I love that I have used the word epic, that is chipboard. And I love the kind of the splattering of white paint look that Zoe has designed for that. And then, yeah, it comes from the die-cut titles. And then I've got that Go For It chipboard flag, and I've got that kind of straddling 3 of the rectangles, and I love the way that looks. So I don't necessarily do one area at a time. I jump around and I continue to embellish until it looks good. So for that, To the Moon and Back, I certainly didn't want to cover up too much of that because I love that paper. And so that's why I've just added a little bit of dimension by popping up that kind of orange-red circle. That had a straight edge on it, which makes it perfect for going on an edge of the paper or an edge of, in this case, that rectangle. I've popped that up with dimensional adhesive, and then I've added, I think, excuse me, chipboard planet type thing. They look like planets. You could also use them as enamel dots. Excuse me. It seems to be that every time I do a process video, I get a funny throat. I'm not sick. I'm perfectly good. Yeah, so that, what I just glued down, that's from one of the pocket cards, and I fussy cut it out. It was a hard decision though, because the whole card was absolutely beautiful with the mixed media kind of treatment to it. But I like it, and I knew that this little journaling spot from the die cut ephemera wouldn't have enough room for me to do all my journaling, so I've written like, I think I've put back to school, 2022, and then in this one, I've just roughly drawn some lines, and I'm getting more detailed in my journaling. So yeah, this year is certainly challenging here in New Zealand. Won't get into it, but yeah, it's we thought that 2021 was bad. Well, 2022 is, in my opinion, even worse. So I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, moving along. So I've got some more of these chipboard stars. Stars always work really well for a teen boy layout, or even any boy layout. Any layout really, but especially for boys, I think they look great. I've taken a couple of those die cut ephemera tickets. They're really, really cute. I've distressed the edges, and then I've machine stitched them down, and I've popped the tops of them up on dimensional adhesive as well for a bit more interest. I've used a couple of the, again, my throat, I don't get it. A couple of the wood buttons, I love them, I love the enamel in them. And I love that I cut that frame, that die cut ephemera frame in half just to use a piece of it, and then wanted to embellish. Now, if this was a girly layout and there were lots of florals, I would have gone full on with the florals onto that frame, but it's not, and there's not. So I've just put one of those wood buttons and then an arrow that I've also put up on dimensional adhesive. Now these puffy stickers are probably the cutest puffy stickers in the world, and I wanted to use several of them. I think I've gone with lots of little stars. And then I wanted to add another, just another phrase sticker from the accessory stickers. So that is my layout. I absolutely loved making this. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't think to keep their cut apart as one piece of paper and use it as a background, but I hope that I've inspired you to look at cut aparts in a new way. And if you love the patterns together, why not keep them together and work with them? So yeah, thanks for watching. There are more details on the blog, and the details are linked below.